Okay, let's jump in. So for this deep dive, we're looking at just one thing. The lyrics you sent over for Drinkin' for Two by Big Murph.
Right.
And our plan today is really to zero in on these lyrics, pull out the key bits, the images that stick, and kind of unpack the main feelings, the ideas he's expressing.
You wanted to get past just the surface level, see what story is really being told.
Exactly. It feels like more than just a song, doesn't it? Like a snapshot of a specific moment or maybe a feeling, a whole relationship dynamic even. Let's see what we find.
Well, the first thing that strikes me, really, is how it sets up this cycle,
Mm-hmm.
a mood, right away.
How so?
You get, grab my cup, pour it up, got me drinking again. That word, again. It's small, but it tells you this isn't new. It's a pattern.
Mm-hmm. A habit.
Yeah. And then it's paired with all my rowdy friends and also thinking again.
Yeah.
So you've got like the social part, the action itself, and the internal stuff all happening at once.
Right. It sets a scene that maybe feels familiar, but you sense there's something,
Right.
something deeper going on underneath.
Definitely. And then boom, you get these really raw, kind of vulnerable lines.
Like, I'm torn up and hard to love. That one really stands out.
It does. Because that's not just describing a bad mood. It's like a self-diagnosis, you know?
Yeah, a real self-assessment. It links the drinking, the friends, whatever's happening on the outside to this feeling inside of being, well, broken, struggling.
Absolutely. It grounds the whole thing in this very human vulnerability, even if the setting seems kind of rowdy or just social.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you ask, okay, how does being torn up and hard to love connect with, other people, especially whoever the song seems aimed at?
And the place he describes feels specific, too. Riding on the drive, slow deep up on a side road.
Yeah, that imagery. Moving, but also maybe isolated,
Well,
hidden away.
we're just needing some space, like a deliberate choice to be somewhere quiet, less public.
And it's right there in that setting that the focus really snaps onto someone else, doesn't it?
Right. Totally. Waiting for that. You could do this with my eyes closed. Maybe I'm a psycho crazy for you.
The journey feels internal too. Just waiting, thinking intensely about this one person, almost obsessive.
And that's where the title phrase, drinking for two, really clicks into place. It ties it all together.
Okay, how?
Well, you take the drinking, which is personal, right? Or maybe social, and you link it to that intense waiting, the torn up feeling, the driving alone.
Ah, okay.
It turns the drinking into something else, like a dedication, a symbol.
So it's not just having a drink, it's like carrying the relationship or carrying the person inside his own habit, his own struggle.
That's how it feels, making this solitary act, or maybe social act, into this statement about being fundamentally connected to someone else.
Wow. Even when he's alone on that side road, the drinking becomes like a physical sign of that connection, for good or bad.
Exactly. And then you get that line, just incredibly stark, I live it up and die slow.
Oof, yeah, that has a whole other layer. It's fatalistic, isn't it? Live it up. That connects to the drinking, the friends, but die slow. That's heavy. It's acknowledging a cost, maybe a self-destructive thing.
And what's wild is right after that, he says,
Pray for my survival and I pray for you.
right.
So that fatalism, that danger he feels he's in, it gets tied immediately back to the relationship.
So is the relationship why he's living it up and dying slow? Or is worrying about the other person maybe a reason to try and survive? A little bit of hope.
That tension is powerful. You've got this intense focus on someone else, drinking for two, crazy for you, pray for you, but it's layered right on top of admitting he's really struggling, maybe heading down a bad path.
Torn up and hard to love, live it up and die slow.
Yeah. And the scenes he paints, driving, being with friends, they're not just background noise. They're like the emotional settings where all these contradictions play out.
It really shows how lyrics can use, direct language and these concrete scenes, the card, the group, to show something really complicated.
A really intricate dynamic. It's not just what's happening, but what it means when you're struggling inside, but also deeply connected to someone else.
So to kind of wrap up this deep dive for you, we've seen how these themes, like being broken or on a risky path, they get tangled up with this really intense dedication to another person.
Yeah, and those phrases like drinking for two or torn up and hard to love and live it up and die slow, they're not just hooks. They're like little windows into that whole complex state.
Right. And using specific things like driving or being with friends, it makes those big emotions feel very real, very grounded.
It shows how powerful language and imagery and lyrics can be, conveying vulnerability, dedication, maybe even like a shared weight in a relationship, all mixed up with habits and friends.
So something for you, our listener, to think about with these lyrics. When someone dedicates an act like drinking for two,
Yeah.
what does that say about the relationship's intensity? Does it also hint at maybe the burden or its influence on personal struggles?
Yeah. What does this piece really reveal about how we carry the important people in our lives,
Mm.
especially when we feel, torn up ourselves?
Definitely something worth mulling over.